Footprint-ul digital ne rămâne tuturor. Dar Epstein a avut un footprint fucking insane. Hai să vedem despre ce este vorba.
2010, shortly after being released from a 13-month jail sentence, Jeffrey Epstein received an alluring email. Would you be interested in having all that crap that comes up on a Google search on your name basically disappear? We know the right people.
What the fuck? Deci practic să dea erase la orice scrie, la tot SEO despre el de pe Google.
Hire. Epstein responded with a simple yes. The man behind this offer was Al Seckel, an American author, writer, and visual artist, and this email would mark the beginning of a long and elaborate campaign to suppress and silence any articles and reports made online surrounding Epstein's crimes. Shady online accounts were created with the sole purpose of deleting and altering facts on Epstein's Wikipedia to paint him in a better light. I have been asked by Jeffrey Epstein to describe his biography in a professional and accurate way that does not involve any scandals or disreputable content. As a living person, this is his right. Edits across his Wikipedia page kept up, even leading to his mugshot getting completely removed, being replaced with a more recent photo so that those who stumbled onto the page with no or little prior knowledge of who he was would have no idea of his disturbing past. A month into this coordinated plan, Seckel emailed Epstein, "It is 4:30 a.m. I've been up all night working on this project along with my team, pulling all-nighters too. As you well know, all these people are very serious people. Another group is building a different Jeffrey Epstein, a false identity site on sports, and they are writing up all the content on that as I know nothing about sports." Sure enough, JeffreyEpsteinSports.com was created, supposedly detailing his opinions on current NBA and NFL-related news. Though in reality, the person, or rather people, behind this website were all located in the Philippines, and this sports page was only one of many more websites created with the sole purpose of diverting attention from Epstein's crimes. JeffreyEpstein.org had pretty much everything related to his philanthropy, essentially just showing the scientific research he was funding at the time. Another website, JeffreyEpsteinScience.com, was a lot more interesting, because
mai există oare aia să intrăm? Bă, cu aia, dar mi-e frică. Dacă intru, ești nebun pe site-urile astea și mi se dă ceva, gen la guvern. Se agață ceva acolo în pisiurile lor. Că uite pe fraierul ăsta, ești nebun? JeffreyScience.com. Nu mai există.
Detail Jeffrey Epstein.
Jeffrey Epstein. Jefferie, coaie. Nu. E bine. Coaie există! How to contact Ghislaine Maxwell! Unde am intrat, ești prost? Ajung in the files. Ei, yo, bro. Ei, yo. Nu ai tu pe eu să intri? Ce, să-i dau contact Ghislaine? Mi-e frică, sincer. Start your free 7-day trial. Adrian, te pup cu 10 cărămizi. Thank you so much, bro. Bă, ești nebun, ați nebunit cu donațiile. Nu. Coaie, și numere de telefon aici. Coaie, wait, what the fuck? Să blurez asta, stror. Coaie, este un site în care literalmente îi dă docs lui Ghislaine. Și dă docs la mai multă lume. What the fuck? Cred că e fake oricum. Nu cred că mai exista site-ul ăsta pe internet dacă era așa cu docs. Read the streamer hashtag Extreme Files, Doamne ferește. Te pup, bro, mulțumesc mult de donație. Bă, mie mi se pare incredibil. Uite, mie mi se pare incredibil că lumea stă în p***a mea să vorbească despre faptul că Connector a băgat 2 frame-uri de ceva coarne în clipul lui, în loc să vorbească în p***a mea de Epstein Files. Literalmente este cel mai mare scandal și cel mai mare... Băi, cea mai mare conspirație din lume care s-a dovedit a fi adevărată din zilele noastre, de când suntem noi pe planeta asta. Și bă, lumea nu vorbește de chestia asta. Nimeni nu a fost tras la răspundere. Mie se pare incredibil. Legit, elitele lumii făceau căcaturile astea, ești nebun? Și nimeni nimic. Nimeni nimic. Insane.
Science.com was a lot more interesting because it detailed a conference that took place.
Și lumea vorbește despre Connector, că o băga Connector. L-a băgat pe dracu.
St. Thomas
clipul lui.
Island, which for my fellow Americans or anyone else who may be geographically challenged is the island right next to Epstein's Island, Little St. James. The Mindshift conference will take place in early January on the island of St. Thomas and at Jeffrey Epstein's private island in the Caribbean, Little St. James. The purpose is to bring together diverse backgrounds, expertise, and viewpoints to try to push the frontiers of substantive topics. The attendees listed consisted mostly of academics, professors, researchers, scientists, you name it.
Toți criminalii au scăpat, ascultăm, au deja 80 de ani majoritatea. Da, mă, sunt unii care totuși sunt mai tineri, adică când era în 2000, din 2000, să zicem așa, până în 2014, când au fost mail-urile respective, aveau 30 de ani, unii 20 de ani, 20 ceva de ani. Acum, bă, in their 50s, in their 40s. Gen, sunt floarea vârstei. Cu aia ce se întâmplă? Trump! Ce se întâmplă cu Trump? Președintele?
The conference itself, hosted in January of 2011, while not filmed or recorded, turned out to be such a terrible event. Epstein emailed Seckel pretending to be someone named Susan. It was without a doubt the worst meeting we have ever funded. Seckel, to his
Theodore,
own credit,
acolo, brother.
was smarter than a bag of rocks and called out Epstein
Spor
directly,
la
leading
diligență,
to
bro,
their
ei,
eventual
sigur.
falling out. Now, Epstein both funded and ran many conferences in the US Virgin Islands.
Sincer îți zic, mie mi se pare că chestia asta cu Epstein Files a fost foarte tactically released, să zic așa. I-o da release în momentul ăsta în care există mult prea multe chestii care se întâmplă în paralel. Război, etc, știi ce zic? Și le-o dat acum release la Epstein Files pentru că lumea are prea multe pe cap și s-o gândit că, bă, le dăm acum, lumea uită. Se întâmplă prea multe. Știi ce zic? Way too many fucking things happening at the same time. Și le dăm acum release și aia e King cu 5 cărămii și Luca cu leapșa, bro. Te pup, bro. Mama, leapșa. Îmi amintește de când făceau rapperii, dacă mai țineți minte de la noi, leapșa. Cu beaturi. Ei aveau un beat și se dea leapșa și se dea o provocare să facă freestyle, dacă mai țineți minte. Te pup, bro. Mulțumesc mult, Luca, de tot suportul. Și King și toți care sunteți pe live.
With the Mindshift conference being just one of them, always inviting scientists with important achievements or backgrounds like
Pomohaci, bă, chiar sunt curios ce o să se întâmple cu Pomohaci. Ăla chiar e demon. Bă, Pomohaci exorciza oameni, dar el e demonul în pula mea. El e ăla care trebuie să fie exorcizat. Neironic. Manema cu un gif, te pup. Mamă, ce pe chat-ul ăsta? Îmi pare rău ăștia care vor să ne uităm la documentar, dar se întâmplă prea multe.
Stephen Hawking, who allegedly visited the island. However, even though Epstein had thrown countless events on his island, he wasn't looking for media attention. Though in an age of advanced technology, there were bound to be some exceptions. Most notably, Pinterest, Spotify, and Amazon accounts, all used in his personal life, separate from his more business-related profiles. His Pinterest has a board named Ideas for the House, which is generally just filled with art pieces and lights. The one saved pin definitely stands out, of a Humpty Dumpty nursery dresser. As a reminder, Epstein didn't have kids of his own, so why the hell would he need a dresser for babies? And it somehow gets even worse. His Amazon...
Pe mine m-a rupt cel mai tare când ne-am uitat la băiatul ăla care au făcut o paralelă între ce scria în Epstein Files, ce făceau oamenii care se duceau pe Epstein Island, toți oamenii care au avut testimoniale împotriva lui Epstein și ritualurile pe care le făceau să sumoneze entități. Mie mi se pare fucking crazy că oamenii ăștia cu așa de mulți bani, cu așa de multă putere, chiar credeau că ei o să poată sumona entități. Au făcut o paralelă cu toate chestiile pe care le-a cumpărat Epstein cu încărcare, care erau încărcate religios și făcea efectiv literalmente fiecare colț din fucking Epstein Island îi cu semnificație religioasă sau are semnificație spirituală. E too much, bro. Și îți dai seama că oamenii ăștia, bro, oamenii ăștia cu atâtea resurse și cu atâta info pe care pot să-l primească, bă, efectiv ăsta e endgame-ul cu aia, ăsta e endgame-ul. Ăsta e endgame-ul. Crezi că poți să sumonezi entități pe pământ și chiar încerci să o faci? Ăsta e endgame-ul. Eu prefer să stau să mă joc CS, ești nebun, să fac inventar de 2 milioane de euro dacă endgame-ul așa arată.
Account has over
Actually ended hard? Na, eu nu cred în chestia asta cu sumona de entități. Știi de ce? Pentru că dacă până acum s-ar fi putut sumona entități, că de-a lungul istoriei s-a mai încercat. Nu e primul om care încearcă Epstein să sumoneze entități. Au fost regi, am văzut și în videoclipul respectiv, au fost regi în antichitate care chiar au încercat să sumoneze entități, când lumea era mult mai conectată spiritual decât este acum. Și nu s-a putut. Eu sunt 100% sigur că dacă cineva reușea să sumoneze vreo entitate din iad sau whatever, sau căcat, o entitate malefică, 100% observam și vedeam. Bro, tu crezi că entitatea aia pe care o sumonezi tu vine și stă la pahar, vine și stă la un vin cu tine ca în True Blood sau ca în seriale? Hell fucking no, bro! Distruge tot ce iese în cale, ești nebun? Deci se vedea 100% dacă se putea vreodată sumona vreo entitate malefică. E complete fucking bullshit. Farfetch, părerea mea.
dozen purchases of toys for toddlers and young children, and among one of his last purchases made was the book Lolita. All of these items Epstein bought were found and put together using receipts found in
I mean, lumea e deja distrusă în ultimul hal, asta ar demonstra că există entități malefice? Bă, țin să te contrazic, pentru că nu uita că noi suntem niște oameni. Noi, practic, ca oameni, ce aport am adus lumii ăsteia? Pentru că oriunde am pus noi mâna, ori am distrus, ori am controlat, să zic așa. Noi, ca oameni, by default, suntem răi pentru lumea asta. Așa că n-avem nevoie nicio entitate malefică ca să distrugem chestii și să fim răi. Așa suntem noi, firea noastră, așa e specia noastră. Mai ales acum de când avem inteligența mult mai dezvoltată, suntem mult mai greedy. Și greediness-ul duce numai la distrugere.
and young children, and among one of his last purchases made was the book Lolita. All of these items Epstein bought were found and put together using receipts found in his emails, and knowing that as of right now,
Ce e asta, bro? Floaty Kings, White Swan? Ok, buddy. Ok. Floaty King... Bro, cumpăra gonflabile. Gonflabile să le bagi în piscină pe Epstein Island, ești nebun?
only half of the Epstein files have been released. There's a good chance he bought many more of these kinds of things on Amazon. His Spotify account, Gvacation, was used quite often, having 19 playlists, excluding Certified Gangster Bops, which was
Cu aia asculta Gamo de la 6ix9ine, ești prost?
added after someone hacked into his account years later.
Never mind.
His
Date added. Coaie, Certified Gangster asta cred că e răjală. Pe 2 februarie 2026.
Gangster Bops, which
Bă, ești nebun, dar cred că Jeffrey Epstein era tapped in. Bro, avea cont de WoW. Se juca WoW. Ești nebun? Era tapped in. Se juca Call of Duty, se juca multe jocuri. Neironic, chiar era tapped in.
was added after someone hacked into his account years later. His actual playlists consisted of Elton John, the Beatles, and everyone's favorite rapper, Beethoven. Epstein also had two playlists titled Paris Flight and Paris Return, with mostly old rock classics and slower jazz music, respectively. This account, surprisingly, is still up and hasn't
The
been
Blue Snow, te pup, mersi frumos de membru, brother, de 428.
deleted like almost every other profile of his across social media, which is something I wish more of these companies like Twitter, Pinterest, and all of the
What the fuck, are 5755 de followers acum.
others did. I mean, the guy's
Gvacation.
dead. He's not using them anymore, and deleting his old accounts is harmful to potential investigations. There could be photos, links, or any type of evidence across them that could point to others involved in Epstein's criminal activities that we now just don't have, only being able to rely on limited archives of them for information. Now, while these accounts are all interesting, there is one more side of things we haven't talked about yet: Epstein's YouTube activity. He did have at least one account here on YouTube named Little Saint Jeff. which we know was officially his due
What
to
the
this
fuck?
email of his YouTube Red subscription, though his overall channel never posted any videos or commented under any other videos as far as we know. He did, however, get sent YouTube videos from loads of other people, like
De mi-ar apărea mie un videoclip aici, în lista lui Epstein. Cum ar fi? Dar știți că m-am căutat și n-apar. Cine apărea? Apărea cineva din România, dacă nu mă înșel.
the old-ass actor
De pe YouTube, de la noi din România.
Woody Allen and his wife Suni Previn, who seem to have a really cozy friendship over the years. Suni and Epstein even messaged each other to gossip about and insult a 15-year-old victim of Anthony Weiner's. While these two are teaming up to insult a 15-year-old girl, there hasn't been any concrete proof that Suni or Woody Allen participated in any of Epstein's crimes, at least with the evidence we have
Woody
available
Allen
at the
sper că nu
moment.
e
Now, while scrolling
asta.
through his YouTube email activity, I came across this. Thank you for the offer to cover the 737 training. This video of my work, priceless War Wings viral prank. It's not released or edited completely yet, so please keep private for now. The YouTube video is a roughly 5-minute unlisted prank titled War Wings Final Cut with no subs. The premise of the video was to prank a flight instructor using a
Aviloop! Aviloop!
certified pilot to pretend
Woody Allen e ultimul ciudat? Pe bune? Nu știam.
as if she has no flight experience at all as she takes over and performs these insane stunts. The interesting part of this whole thing is the female pilot doing the pranking, Nadia Marcinko, Epstein's main pilot throughout the years, flying him to and from his island, also becoming one of his quote-unquote girlfriends. Many of Epstein's victims have claimed that she participated in his crimes and was very involved in his personal life. And while she was one of his co-conspirators, Nadia is also very much one of Epstein's victims. One victim back in 2008, whilst talking about Nadia, claimed that Epstein had purchased her from her family in Yugoslavia. Epstein bragged he brought her into the United States to be his Yugoslavian slave. So while Nadia was very much one of his accomplices, she was also a victim. Now regarding this video, there's still one question. Who is the person behind this channel? Izmir Mujab. One Google search will give you one main person of interest. Ahmad Izmir Mujab, the CEO of a Malaysian company, Crewstone International, a private equity and investment firm. Though what does the CEO of a large financial investment firm have to do with some random unlisted prank video involving Epstein's main pilot? Well, when you dig a little deeper into Izmir Mujab, you'll come to find out that he was the man behind a YouTube channel named Maxman TV that has over 1.1 million subscribers. The channel posted videos that are equivalent to today's brain rot TikTok.
Bă, ne-am uitat la Nick Crowley sau cine postase? Full documentar video despre Aviloop. Bă, chestia asta cu Aviloop, să vă uitați. Cred că am și eu react pe canal. Uitați-vă la react. Bă, e insane chestia asta cu Aviloop. Bro, și cum erau clipurile alea cu fetele astea de la aviație. Bro, incredibil.
Bad fake pranks.
What the fuck, bro, ce caută un YouTuber care face prank-uri fake pe insula lui Epstein și cu conexiune cu Epstein? What?
Through these masterpieces that would put Tommy Wiseau's The Room to shame, one video stands out. One of the last to ever be posted on Maxman TV. Hot pilot pranks instructor.
No way. Este încă pe YouTube.
If you listen to what I say, we'll keep going. Otherwise, I'm not going to let you fly anymore, okay?
What the fuck?
Okay, I'm sorry.
So it doesn't have a full cockpit in the back, the rotor.
Insane.
in a fighter plane. This video was the same as the unlisted one Izmir posted on his hidden channel, albeit a little bit shorter, and the description has much more information. This time we took the prank to the skies. We teamed up with Nadia Marcinko and the people at Warwings to prank a flight instructor in Palm Springs,
Bă,
California.
și asta Nadia Marcinko era cum se zice, un pilot feminin foarte faimos, fix de aia pentru că era foarte bună la pilotat și era femeie. Și era destul de faimoasă și avea legături foarte strânse cu Epstein, nu strânse, foarte strânse cu Epstein. Se zicea că ea aducea așa pe insulă.
Watch what happens when Nadia goes undercover as a nerd and pretends to be clueless. So now it's pretty clear from both of these channels that Izmir Mujab, CEO of Crewstone International, was behind this prank video involving Nadia. There's just one missing piece. Who sent this email to Epstein? If it was Nadia, then it's much more likely that Izmir knew little to nothing about her connection to Epstein. However, if Izmir sent this email or was in contact with Epstein at all, things would be a lot more suspicious.
Crazy.
Because as much as his associates would rather you forget, Epstein was a registered sex offender after 2008, and many in his circle knew what he was up to. Though in this case, Izmir Mujab seems to be innocent, and it's more likely the person behind this email is either Nadia or someone else. Because Ahmad Izmir Mujab's name doesn't show up once in the files or in anything associated with Jeffrey Epstein. The only thing he's proven guilty of is bad pranks. There was one more rabbit hole I wanted to dig into, Aviloop.
Welcome to Aviloop,
Bro, dar Aviloop nu era și asta.
your collective buying website for anything aviation.
Founded in 2011 by Nadia Marcinko,
Exact, cu
Aviloop.com
Nadia.
served as a hub for aviation-related services. Welcome to Aviloop, the one and only aviation deal website for pilots, aircraft owners, jet setters, and aviation enthusiasts. The website primarily sold discounts for flights, merchandise, and most things aviation-related. As far as I understand it, the way it worked was that upon signing up to Aviloop, they would send you an email with various deals. You would pick and buy one, then receive an Aviloop voucher, which you would use at the discounted location. So Aviloop was giving individuals the discounted deals to use on other businesses that we can assume agreed to work with them. At least that's what they claim. There's a lot of things that just seem off
clipurile
about
astea
the company.
incredibil de
For one,
creepy.
they have a pretty apparent focus on deal attendance,
Ba da, Ionuț.
girls that Aviloop customers
Dar cine a făcut mă chat clipul cu Aviloop? Nick Crowley? Nick Crowley cred că l-a făcut, nu?
could have a chance at winning a one-on-one video
Am văzut că
call
a scos
with,
clip nou,
which is
cred că.
very odd to be placed on a website claiming to be about aviation. And not only was this
Nadia era
website
mână în mână, bro, cu
associated
Epstein.
with Epstein through Nadia, but he also was
Uite.
very much involved in it, funding it and emailing others dozens of times about it. When you look through the Aviloop discussion board on their website for users to post or talk about these deals, you'll realize that there aren't any responses, at least to the vast majority of these posts, which mention things like tattoo-lits, memberships, and flying lessons. From what we can see, Aviloop was a very low-key website, and looking up the name of the company leads to basically no results prior to 2019. It's all very suspicious because via Epstein's email history, we know that payments of tens of thousands of dollars were being sent to Aviloop, and probably more that we don't know about. Why would a company so off the radar make so much money offering primarily discounts? Many online have begun to theorize that Aviloop was a front for something nefarious, especially knowing that
Soto.
Epstein had a large
Sigur.
role to play in its creation and financials. And I think there's a high chance that Aviloop wasn't exactly what they claim to be.
Sigur era, bro, 100% era de fapt ceva ca să bușamalizeze ce se întâmpla pe acolo.
Looking into the deal attendants themselves will lead you down an even further rabbit hole. As of right now, there are 3 deal attendants that we know existed:
Bă, nu mai spămați, vă
Shannon,
rog.
Ashley, and Claire. Shannon is Shannon Cusack, a friend of Nadia's who even lived with her in New York for a short time. Shannon, alongside Deco workers, helped Nadia work on Aviloop's creation, though they claimed long after that they had no knowledge of Nadia's ties to Epstein and her shady past. Now, Deca is a company founded by Dean Kamen, who created the Segway. They mainly focus on research and advancements in technology. Kamen has also been known to be pretty good friends with Epstein over the years, so it makes sense that his company was partially associated with Aviloop. The second girl shown as a deal attendant is Ashley McRoy, a professional model who unfortunately passed away to cancer 6 years after this video was filmed. The third girl, Claire, is a lot more mysterious, with virtually no information about who she is, stumping many in the Aviloop online investigation, so I did a little digging. We know that Ashley was a professional model in her mid-20s that worked in New York during her Aviloop commercial, and Shannon was in the same boat, so we can also probably assume that Claire was a professional model based in New York City in 2011, likely aged somewhere in the early to mid-20s. This led me down a long path of dozens and dozens of different Claires in New York, but none of them match the girl shown on Aviloop. There seemed to be no clear trace of anyone named Claire that fit those characteristics. And that's because Claire actually wasn't like Shannon or Ashley at all. This girl is Claire Davison, and at the time, 16-year-old ballet dancer and actress, who for some reason was given a job as a deal attendant here at Aviloop, though we don't know much more beyond that. But because of this Facebook post from 2012 that lists Claire as being 17, we know for a fact that during the filming of Aviloop's promotional videos a year prior, she was underage. So what the hell is the deal with Aviloop? If you've seen Nick Crowley's video, you know that with the exception of Claire's identity, this was essentially where the mystery ended. But there had to be something more that could give more information about what this company truly was. So I did even more digging and came across this blog, created by Nadia Marcinko, all about Aviloop. The website features much less and was pretty obviously given much less attention than their main website. However, one thing does stand out. We are going to AOPA Summit. We just registered for AOPA Aviation Summit, September 22nd to 24th in Hartford, Connecticut. 3 days of living and breathing general aviation. You can only imagine the smiles on our faces right now. We will be spreading the news about Aviloop and how we can help improve GA. We are going to have our deal attendants present and picture ready. All you lucky attendees get to meet and take photos with the lovely ladies and sign up for our free mailing list. We are so excited to be surrounded by people who love aviation just as much as we do. Let us know if you are going to and check back for more updates. The AOPA Summit is a yearly event hosted by the Aircraft Owners and Pilots Association for fans of all things aviation. And in both 2011 and 2012, Nadia posted to this blog page that both her and Aviloop's deal attendants would be at the event. I skimmed through every single video filmed of these two summits that I could find on YouTube, but unfortunately I couldn't find a single sighting of her. I felt like a conspiracy theorist scanning the trees looking for Bigfoot, but instead of a big gorilla, I was looking for a blonde Slovakian woman dressed as a flight attendant. Now, although there might not be footage of her or any deal attendants at the event, there was an audio recording. In a now-deleted interview of the Airplane Geeks podcast on episode 169.5. They interviewed many individuals that attended the AOPA Summit in 2011, and one of the guests was Nadia. The podcast only has episodes available that were recorded after 2019, and I couldn't figure out a way to retrieve the deleted MP3 file, but thanks to a Redditor from 7 years ago, we have a quote. When asked about how she became a pilot, she explains, quote, "I was a model that was scared of flying, then took a flight lesson and I guess it worked." We now know that Nadia and the others actually did attend these AOPA summits in 2011 and 2012. Now, there's one last active lead in the Aviloop investigation.
Bro, dar
that being
Nadia,
an
mai
alleged
țineți minte
sister
ce?
company.
Nadia mai e în viață sau nu mai e în viață? Mai țineți minte?
to it named Aviatory. The website is pretty normal, giving a basic rundown of courses, training, and employment, stating that their main mission is to increase the number of female pilots around the world. From what I can
Păi și nimeni nu se duce să vorbească cu ea? Nimeni nu se duce să-i pună întrebări? What?
find, this website seems completely legit. The thing that bothered some people online years back was that Aviatory was not only somewhat similar to Aviloop, providing aviation-related services, but it also shared some business connections. According to one Redditor, someone named Lana Smith worked for both Aviloop and Aviatory, developing the two websites. This allegedly comes from her LinkedIn, but it seems as though she deleted that part from her profile sometime after attention was drawn to it. I know some of you may be thinking that this could be fake coming from a Redditor, but I'm actually willing to believe them. Because under an archived version of Aviatory's now deleted Facebook page, one company is listed in the related pages section that stands out.
Mulți oameni sunt în viață și nu sunt întrebați de Epstein, nu mă zic, aia e clar. Mulți oameni care au fost în Epstein Files, ce ești nebun, trăiesc viața acum mai bine decât o trăit înainte de Epstein Files.
Earth Ahead, an eco-friendly lifestyle brand that was founded by Lana. So given that Aviatory's very small Facebook page with suspiciously very little engagement showed a connection to Lana's company, I think it's safe to assume this Redditor was telling the truth. There's one final connection I could find between Aviatory and Aviloop. While scrolling through Aviatory's Instagram and checking to see who they were following, I found out that they were actually following Shannon Cusack, ex-deal attendant for Aviloop and once friend of Nadia Marcinko. It's also worth mentioning that Aviatory's last Instagram post was 1 month before Epstein was eliminated, and their Facebook account was taken down sometime around
eu pus ăla din Fortnite, ești nebun?
as well. It could be a complete coincidence or something to look into in the future. Overall, while there isn't any hard evidence of trafficking or anything along those lines regarding Aviloop, the whole thing is extremely suspicious and concerning. Because at the very least, an alleged teenage girl was hired to work and act as a deal attendant, possibly even taking one-on-one video calls with random online Aviloop customers. If any other updates come out in regards to this...
Nu, bro, vierme borât e Tony, e tattoo artistul meu și tovarășul meu.
Rabbit hole, I'll be sure to leave them in the comments below. Now, there's one final Epstein rabbit hole I found that I'm genuinely shocked I haven't seen anyone talk about before, and it revolves around everyone's favorite topic, AI. In the recently released files, it was revealed that Epstein was funding research into robotics.
Da, mă, da, Epstein, era și vorba aia că Epstein de fapt e Satoshi Nakamoto, ești nebun, el a făcut Bitcoin.
Like toddlers. This all started in the early 2000s when Epstein began to dip his toes into artificial intelligence research, funding a meeting called the St. Thomas Common Sense Symposium, which took place on, you guessed it, St. Thomas Island. Years later, Epstein got in contact with and began to work with and fund 2 individuals researching AI. Former University of Tennessee professor Itamar Arel and Ben Goertzel. Emails between Goertzel and Epstein show that Epstein funded this research into a, quote, robotic toddler. So at that pace, we could plausibly have the robot toddler in 2017 to 2018. And from a robot toddler with common sense, understanding of its environment, and the corresponding natural language constructions to much more advanced AGI, I believe is not such a large step. Anyway, once we have a robot toddler in hand, funding will not be one of our many problems. Now, if you've been on the internet for a long time, you may remember Sophia, who in 2016 took the internet by storm, because Sophia was the first AI-powered humanoid robot to ever be created, and Ben Goertzel was one of the main researchers behind it, being the, at the time, chief scientists of the company who created her. So while we don't really know if the robotic toddler was ever actually created, we do know that Jeffrey Epstein, through funding of Goertzel's research, unironically contributed to the creation of the world's first AI humanoid robot, Sophia.
Crazy.
I didn't think AI's reputation could get any worse than it already is, but I guess I was wrong. As always, don't go out of your way to harass...
Bro, ești nebun, Epstein Și-o băga mâna în crearea AI-ului. Păi și nu mai făcut Epstein, ești nebun? Toate ești nebun. Berea pe care o beau ai făcut-o de Epstein at this fucking point. Crazy.